Hi, Hedian, Wayne. Hi.
Who is Don? Last name is same as yours.
Yes, he's my brother. He's actually, I think he's come to one before this.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that last name, there are not many people with
Yeah. Cannot miss it. It's
that not miss it.
unique. Yeah.
Hi, Kristen. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Maybe stop recording and
Okay.
remember to do it 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Well, those of you that can come in and open your camera, your video, that'd be great. And nice to see your faces. Hi there. Nice to meet you. Kristen, I don't think I've met you before. Have you been to?
No, I haven't. I live in Southeast Kansas and I found you guys online. And yeah, so I saw your offering and I thought I'd check you out.
Well, welcome. That's we're very happy to have you. I'm so glad
Thank
you
you.
found.
Thank you.
Yeah,
This is my husband Mike is with me too. So
lovely, lovely. Welcome, Mike.
thank you.
Okay, well, I'm going to begin. Let's see, it's 3 minutes after 6, and then we'll just, hopefully people can just come in and just flow with whatever's going on here. So, the topic tonight that I chose is on beauty. And I want to just introduce myself first. I'm Suellen Ehnebuske, and I am a longtime student here at the Nyingma Institute. I'm also an instructor. I've been teaching for about 5 years now, and we do these weekly Sunday Dharma talks. So please feel welcome to check them out. At the end of each month, we have a women's meditation at the same time slot. So that's also something else to know about from the Institute. So welcome Donna and Maris. So my name is Sue Ellen, as I said, and our topic is beauty tonight. And I just thought I'd start with what is beauty? You know, when you really think about it, just beauty, the experience of beauty. Really, what is it? It's an age-old philosophical question that really is not settled in any one definition. Um, but I thought that I would start this talk by just sharing with you a few definitions straight from the dictionary. And I'm starting with a very general one, I think one that most everybody here is familiar with. And that is that beauty is what pleases the aesthetic sense, the dictionary says. And by aesthetics, I think they mean that you're having a particular taste or approach to something that pleases your senses. Because beauty is commonly understood to be a pretty subjective experience, as in beauty is in the eye of the beholder, that what's beautiful to one person may not be beautiful to someone else. So in that definition, beauty is what we're responding to in a sensory manifestation, like shape and form, color, sound, beautiful designs, patterning, beauty that's found in the world of form, and especially as it's related to sight, but also sound, like beautiful music, beautiful art, physically beautiful people. So that definition is where beauty pleases the senses and kind of manifests externally as form. But there's a secondary definition of beauty that says beauty is what pleases the moral sensibilities. Beauty that's related here to ethics. Beauty's in what's virtuous or ethically beautiful, a kind of an inner beauty. For instance, someone who's felt to be a beautiful person internally is often somebody who embodies ethical qualities. And then looking at a third definition, which I pulled right out of our trusted Wikipedia, and I was kind of surprised that they included this too. In Wikipedia, it says that beauty, which is connected to a sense of harmony in nature, or the natural order, or of the natural world. So these three definitions of beauty tonight, and we're going to be looking most specifically at the latter two, really much more investigating the harmonious natural beauty of nature, and then this inner beauty, or this kind of more ethical beauty. But I think one thing about beauty is, we can all agree, is how it feels. And so I thought we could start with just doing a reflection and kind of getting into this sense of what beauty is. So I want you to just get comfortable in your chairs or cushions, wherever you're seated. And just close your eyes. And without pondering philosophically, just recall something recently that you were conscious of being beautiful. And bring this person or this place or this object from your memory into your mind. Something beautiful that you recently experienced. And let yourself feel the essence of what was beautiful. And take a moment to really go into that feeling state. Perhaps it's had some wonder or awe. What does beauty feel like inside of your body as you experience a memory of it? How does beauty feel? In your heart, your body, your mind? And just coming out of that now, I think we can all agree that beauty feels good. The essence of beauty, it is a good feeling. It's a pleasant feeling. There's generally a feeling of kind of ease or a sense of groundedness, harmony and balance. It's pleasant. Any other words come to mind for you guys? Anything that came up? What beauty feels like? You just shout it out.
It feeds you.
Yeah.
It's delicious. It's nourishing.
Yeah, yes, yeah, nice, nourishing. So in Buddhism, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Can't hear Wendy.
Oh, Wendy,
Felt the word expansive.
lovely, yeah. And Sally, yeah, all these feelings that are all in that sensibility of being pleasant and feeling good. It feels nice, it really does. In Buddhism, interestingly enough, there's not a lot of direct references to beauty and that word beauty specifically in the sutras or some of the Buddha's teachings. There is one sutra where the word beauty in Pali is used as an adjective to describe karma, as in good karma or beautiful karma, and that's found in one of the sutras. And that Pali word is kalyana. It's Kalyana, which I also thought that's a beautiful name, kalyana. So that kalyana as an adjective to karma is relating to the natural order, the kind of harmonious order of nature, because the karmic teachings are seen as a part of nature, that, you know, whatever choices or actions you make, you're going to reap the results of those actions and choices, that this is a natural order or a nature of reality itself. So if you do something negative or ill, you'll reap something negative or ill. And the opposite of that, if you do something beautiful, harmonious, you'll reap the same. The Buddha said in this sutra, whatever kind of seed is sown, this is the kind of fruit you will reap. A doer of beauty reaps beauty. A doer of ill reaps ill. So even though it's not really found much in directly as a teaching, Tartang Tulku Rinpoche, the Lama, Tibetan Lama that founded the Nyingma Institute in 1972, has written quite extensively about beauty. And his book, Love of Beauty, which was written in 2016, and there are 3 others, Mandala Gardens, Seeing the Beauty of Being, a garland of flowers. All 4 of these books are really the resources that I am using for this talk when we talk about this natural beauty in nature. And we're inspired through Rinpoche, by the natural and the cultivated beauty of the temple and residence of Rinpoche up in Sonoma County called Odeon Mandala. And those are the sources that I'm using to present his teachings. So I thought I would just start by reading an introduction to one of these books on beauty. It's from A Garland of Flowers, to kind of set a context of how he thinks about beauty in Buddhist teachings. And he writes, the modern world is rushing towards the future. As time speeds up in the Kali Yuga, known in the Buddhist tradition as a time of trouble, under these conditions, and these are the historical times that we are living in right now, the time of Kali Yuga, under these conditions, our bodies and minds are easily out of harmony, our consciousness quickly overwhelmed by samsaric concerns, worries, and fears, especially in difficult circumstances. And we can benefit from the aesthetic appreciation, the appreciation of beauty, because it offers nourishment, as Olivia said, it's nourishing for the human spirit. The more beauty we notice, he writes, the more beauty we appreciate, we care for, and stimulate, the more beauty feeds back into our own consciousness, a precious nectar. But at times we feel too busy to even stop and appreciate the flowers or listen to the birds that are singing to us every day. All around us in society, we see people burning out, losing their capacity to appreciate their own lives. So out of harmony have the body and mind become. The desire mind burns on and on, wanting, seeking, grasping, demanding. Once we move in this negative direction, it becomes more and more difficult to open the mind, to open the heart and the senses that can actually allow this flow of nourishment into us. So here in this introduction to this book, he's reminding us, I think, of the power of beauty to nurture us, to fill our senses. If only we can let ourselves slow down enough to appreciate it. We're so busy, he says, so caught up in our own thoughts and projects, that we cannot appreciate this world that we inhabit. Often when we visit great places of great beauty, we drive through them instead of taking time to savor what they offer us. And in a way, he's saying that we're really diminishing the capacity of our senses. We're starving our own senses. And I think we don't need a lot of reminding about this. We all experience the pace of modern life. and the fact that it's moving farther and farther out of touch with the natural world. Every week we hear reports about how much time kids are spending on their iPhones or iPads, and what the time that we're spending on these instruments too. And what's and we make all of this just kind of normalize, but what's really fascinating when you think about it is that in the evolution of human beings, 99% of our evolution, our existence on Earth, we've been in direct relationship with the natural world. This modern developed life that we're living is really unprecedented in pretty profound ways. So, speaking of screens and being addicted to them and all that, I am totally aware of the irony of us being on Zoom tonight. And I also am going to share with you tonight some of the beautiful photographs from these 4 books that Rinpoche wrote on beauty, and accompanied text that he has on beauty. And I'm going to do it in a PowerPoint form. So I apologize in advance for this, but I know that you all have the memories and the experiences, and we can use that to really try to open ourselves to what he's sharing here. So before I upload the short PowerPoint, and it's the first time I've ever done a PowerPoint in a Dharma talk, but I think I'm going to get it. Before I upload this, I want to take a moment to just rest our eyes and our minds. So close your eyes again. And I'd like you to take a nice, long, slow, deep breath. And just release and relax on your out breath. And do another one of these long, slow breaths. And now just allowing the muscles of your face to relax, relaxing that social face, just letting all the tiny little muscles melt and relax a little, letting the jaw soften, softening all the muscles around the eyes. And even with your eyes closed, just let them rest in their sockets for a moment while you let everything in the body and the face just melt and relax just a bit. Now very slowly, just opening your eyes. And if you can, kind of keep that soft eye as you enjoy these few photos of nature, the beauty of nature, as I read these quotes from Tartang Tulku. Walking through a garden or a field or a forest, we can feel our mood is shifted by the vibrant royal colors that nature presents. The greens and the blues, the yellows and the magentas, lush textures and revealing forms. In the presence of beauty, our lonely and depressed thoughts can depart. Anxiety and pressures can relent. The emotions that restrain our hearts and the thoughts that pattern our mind are transformed when we're surrounded by nature. When we pay close attention, we see vivid colors, exquisite shapes, unlimited textures and patterns that reveal themselves in each moment of our experience. We can recognize a specific feeling in each different type of locale, each different animal or plant, even in each different flower. Sensory experiences bring the field of feeling alive, sometimes evoking memories or different kinds of thoughts, but each generating deeper levels of relaxation. Communicating with the world of nature changes our consciousness. The rich inner dimensions of our senses start to activate naturally when we allow ourselves the pleasure of relaxing into beauty. Sense consciousness begins to connect to the heart, and the distance between the seer and the seen begins to diminish. Each individual shape and form in nature is offering us this sweet communication. It's a wonderment and our good fortune to be interconnected to this larger world. Nourished by the beauty of the natural world through our senses, the heart undergoes a gentle healing process that releases new understanding and more satisfying ways of being. When we recognize beauty in nature, we are communicating with beauty. But are we also recognizing something within, our own inner beauty, our Buddha nature? Rinpoche writes, natural aesthetics demonstrate the nature of reality itself. The presence of beauty is the beauty of presence, this moment right here. In the face of beauty, the human heart is moved to appreciation, joy, gratitude, and reverence. When beauty resonates within us, speaking intimately to our soul, we realize we belong to nature and that our own nature belongs to beauty. This is our refuge. So just looking again at some of these profound quotes from Rinpoche when he's talking about the natural beauty, and beginning to look at this connection between this beauty and our own inner nature. He says, natural aesthetics demonstrate the nature of reality itself. The presence of beauty is the beauty of presence. And I think what he's saying here is that when we bring awareness to beauty, we're communicating with nature. And in a way, we are communicating with reality. We belong to nature, and our nature belongs to beauty. Our inner beauty is innate to our being, and it can be a refuge for us. So turning now to recognizing this inner beauty within ourselves and with others. I have a photo here. This photo is of a nomadic family of yak herders, indigenous people from the northwest corner of Bhutan. And every year they migrate down from the high plateaus up in the Himalayas in the winter time to live in more temperate areas in Bhutan. And I had the wonderful, great fortune of traveling in Bhutan with my partner and with Olivia Hurd and her husband last January and early February. And as we passed on a trail in front of this family's remote winter home, slowly people began to come out in curiosity to greet us. And we spent most of our time just smiling as they're smiling at us right now, just smiling back and forth with these people. And these are indeed people of the land. They're communicating with nature all day long, every day. Though with cell phones and other technologies, they are not cut off from the whole world. You can see in the younger woman here as she holds her cell phone that we've seen so many of us hold in that same way. So despite all that, I think that the openness of these people is so readily apparent. So just take a moment to kind of feel the essence of beauty in these human beings. When we recognize beauty in others or in the natural world, we're communicating. And are we also recognizing something within to be able to recognize it, something natural to our own inner beauty, our own innate beauty? We belong to this natural world, and our nature belongs to beauty. This is a refuge. So now returning to Northern California, I thought I'd just close these few photos with a short excerpt from a poem from Mary Oliver called "When I Am Among the Trees." And it's a poem, I think, that underscores this notion of recognizing our own inner nature. She says, "When I am among the trees stir in their leaves and they call out, 'Stay a while.' The light flows from their branches and they call again, 'It's simple,' they say, 'and you too have come into this world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light and to shine.'" So this beauty of nature and this inner beauty in us and in others, I think every one of us knows someone who may not be particularly beautiful, but we sense a kind of inner beauty in them. And I want to do another short reflection on this inner beauty. So let's close our eyes again and think of someone you know who's beautiful inside, who may have some of these qualities of inner beauty. It could be a generous shopkeeper or a clerk who's always warm and inviting. It could be an extraordinarily realized being, or the beauty of a child. Whoever comes to mind, I want you to just take a few minutes to just feel that inner beauty. And how easy it is to have affection for someone like this. So just take a moment to appreciate this person for bringing more beauty, more inner beauty into our world. So any questions or comments or experiences with any of the talks thus far, whether it's a reflection or any of the photos? Any questions?
Well, I just have a comment, which is, while there is this immense beauty in the world, there are also pythons
Yes.
and rattlesnakes. We can't just say nature is everything that is beautiful, you know, because there is all of nature,
Mhm.
you know, which I'm trying to accept,
Mhm. Yes, definitely.
including its most ugly inhabitants.
Well, I applaud you for that, and it's true. It's the whole mix here, and taking that wide view. It's the absolute truth of life, you know. But we so often miss the beauty that actually is there. The emphasis of this is of the talk is more of a reminder of the access that we may give ourselves to actually experience beauty, perhaps in ways that we don't pay attention enough to even know what we might find beautiful before. So it is that the emphasis here is more just opening ourselves to the beauty that's all around us too, and noticing more. One of the things that Rinpoche really stresses is this idea of sense consciousness, and that is that when we talk about the mind in Buddhism, the mind and our intelligence is way more than our brain. It's in our embodiment and it's in our senses in a very big way. And in a lot of ways, we don't activate and kind of the consciousness that our senses have because we're moving so fast. And so to contemplate when he says beauty is reality, or the beauty of nature is reality, it actually made me think about the monks going into the wilderness in the caves. And if you contemplate, if you have that kind of time to contemplate the beauty, you could probably actually make contact with reality. So I think that's, we're talking about it more in terms of the diminished ways that our senses are when we talk about natural beauty, that we don't often even see all the beauty that's around us. But I appreciate your comment, and I'm emphasizing less of the negative and more of the balance and harmony of nature for this talk. So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for the comment too. So I wanted to talk, as we get into the second half of this, I wanted to talk a little bit about the science behind some of these Buddhist teachings on beauty. And I wondered how many of you have heard of the Japanese practice of forest bathing? Has anybody heard of forest bathing? Yeah, I think it's gotten, many more people are aware of it. And it's a therapy that developed in Japan in the 1980s as a kind of therapeutic approach to these rising degrees of mental health concerns that were going on in Japan. And the guy who's considered the founder of forest therapy is this Dr. Qing Li. And in Japanese, it's called Shrinyin Yokyu, which broadly means kind of taking in with into your senses the forest atmosphere. So not as simply a walk in the woods, it's more of a contemplative kind of conscious practice of being immersed in the sights and the sounds and the sense of the forest. And I think it very much relates, this forest bathing, to Rinpoche's encouragement that we develop this kind of sense consciousness, that we could become more aware through our senses, not just through our thinking mind, to nourish them through this meditative awareness of the natural world. And in terms of science, you know, there's many interesting theories. I could almost say proto-science. I can't say I know a lot about this to say all this stuff has absolutely been proven, but there's a lot of interesting theories supporting this healing power of nature. And apparently a scientist, Boris Tolkien, Russian scientist, discovered something called phytoncides, which are emitted by trees and other plants. And these are these naturally occurring volatile chemicals that trees and plants use to ward off fungus and other diseases. And these phytoncides are kind of emitted into the air, and then we as human beings can inhale them. And, back to this idea of 99% of our evolution, we were in relation with the forests and other environments. The human species has adapted to this ability to inhale these chemicals that are emitted by trees and plants. And in turn, they're seeing that they can trigger the production of white blood cells that can help strengthen our immune systems. There's other benefits to being in nature that science is discovering now as they look at all these brain scans. Scientists from Stanford, this guy Gregory Breitman, showed that a part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, actually gets deactivated after some time in nature, like a little like meditation is, where you begin to quiet the mind and the brain begins to rebalance to some degree too. And then when we're re-exposed again to all the noise and the sensorial overstimulation of life and urban environments, the prefrontal cortex is activated again and actually causes the brain to ruminate. And this rumination, which I think we all have a sense of when we get caught up in these like negative patterned thinking that are habitual to our minds, rumination. Scientists are beginning to suggest that rumination is actually a precursor to depression. So interesting stuff. So perhaps these Buddhist teachings and science are beginning to kind of come closer together when we allow ourselves to connect to this natural world, which is so much bigger than ourselves. Something can happen at our very core. And we begin to kind of realize that we're not just this body and brain, we're part of this, we're connected to everything. We have this mutual integrated relationship with a living planet. And our senses are invited to experience some healing through this nourishment that Rinpoche is talking about, to nourish the human spirit that can connect us to this broader perspective. So I'm not saying we should all go back to the land by any means or become yak herders in Bhutan or any of that. It's much more about deepening our consciousness and our awareness of beauty, which is all around us in this natural world of the senses, and in the beauty in ourselves, and the beauty and becoming aware of the beauty in others as well. So I'd like to move into a meditation now, and we're going to experiment to see if we can do a forest bathing meditation. And so let's get comfortable in our chairs again. And this time I'd like to really breathe in very slowly, not forcefully. And we'll do this 3 times where we breathe in slowly. We hold at the top for a couple of beats, just 1, 2, like that. And then a slow, long exhale. And we'll do 3 of these breaths together. So breathing in, long and slow. And then holding, 1, 2, and then slowly letting the breath move out of the body. Breathing in. And one more. Breathing in. And now just releasing that and letting your breath return to its normal rhythm. And let yourself begin to sense your whole body. And seeing if you can relax the body even more. Letting the shoulders drop. Relaxing the face. Letting the muscles of the jaw relax and release. As the mouth just drops slightly open. So you can breathe through both nose and mouth. Let your hands just completely relax on your thighs or in your lap. And sensing the body as it occupies the space of your room. Letting yourself be right here, nowhere to go for the moment. Imagine now a beautiful forest or a place in nature that you find to be beautiful. Perhaps in your imagination or a visceral memory of something. Perhaps it's a place that you visit regularly. Wherever this beautiful natural spot is, just bring it now into your consciousness, into your memory. Imagine that you're sitting comfortably surrounded by the plants on the forest floor, perhaps a canopy of trees above you. Imagine you're seated on a large rock or maybe comfortably on a blanket. And you're entirely on your own in nature. Safe and very comfortable. Above you, a vast, deep blue sky. Feeling the gentle warmth of the sun on your back as you sit in the midst of it all. Just you among all the various manifestations of nature. This natural world just inviting and including you in the shared space. And let your sense of sight, your memory or imagination of your inner sense of sight, just begin to scan the environment around you. Letting your eyes be soft and accepting, scanning the colors, the shapes, the textures and proportion of this natural world. As you rest in this protected place, begin now to notice your breath. Just the normal breath as it rises and falls. And sensing now as you breathe that the forest is breathing with you. The trees sending oxygen into the atmosphere. The plants and the grasses pulling in the carbon dioxide from all the forest animals and from your own breath. Receptive, reciprocal, just a natural giving and receiving. This effortless exchange. And now bringing awareness to a sense of feeling. Bringing your awareness to maybe the sun, feeling the rays of the sun as they warm your skin. Relaxing and warming the body. Sensing gentle breezes that move across your cheek or over your hands or arms. And letting yourself breathe in the air, the breeze. Feeling the air, the breeze, warm and gentle. Moving through and enveloping this entire forest. And turning your awareness now to hearing, to listening. Can you open the aperture of your sense of sounds? What do you hear? A symphony of birds chirping. Perhaps a squirrel or a lizard rustling across the ground. Listening for sounds way off in the distance. Maybe listening to the wind rustling the leaves above you. And if you're near water, perhaps hearing water flowing or lapping at the shore of a lake. Just spend a little time just imagining, recalling these natural sounds. Letting the body and the mind just absorb them all. And finally, a sense of smell. Just opening the nostrils and letting in any smells that you can remember in this beautiful natural place. Sensing the damp smells of the earth beneath you. Perhaps the scent of eucalyptus or the smells of living green, or even the scent of a body of water at some distance. Letting your memories and imagination of these smells just pour into the body, the mind. the pleasure of natural beauty through our senses promotes a deep relaxation. Our senses can be filled and tensions can melt away. As our senses open and expand, they transmit more beauty into our consciousness. The beauty of color, of shape, proportion, the beauty of sounds, of fragrances, taste and touch, the beauty of thoughts, and the depths of meaning that can invite wonder and new ways of knowing. So coming out of that, so as just a reminder of what's available to us in this world, and as we move forward into the weeks and the months ahead, to seek out time to absorb some of that beauty that's available to us, to remind ourselves and to find balance again in our bodies, in our minds, in our hearts. Any other thoughts from you all from this experience? Were you able to conjure up a forest bathing, or was it too digital?
Well, it's true. What really touches me is my imagination really was alive in this time. And so whether or not I'm sitting in a room with the blinds down, my imagination was able to bring such a rich experience. So thank you, because it affirmed that's possible.
Mhm.
Even we don't have to be in the forest or in a beautiful place. We can imagine these kinds of conditions,
Mhm.
especially maybe when we're in a tough place or a dark place.
Mhm. Yeah, yes.
So,
Yeah,
thanks.
thank you, Sally. Yeah, I think so. And in Tibetan Buddhism, there is a lot of emphasis on using these other facilities of mind, like imagination and memory and visualization, to support us with when we forget, too, and to try to come into that place of the middle way, the balance, that sort of thing. That it is available to us, and noticing when you're out in the world, the sense of inner beauty in others, that consciousness of just taking that moment. And I know how hard it is. But taking that pause for just a moment to sense, this person behind the cash register or something, this heart that's reaching out for this moment in time, to let that come into you, and be able to carry it away. Some of it sounds like pie in the sky, but I think it's very powerful. I really do. I think it's very powerful. So I hope it's been of benefit to you. Any other comments?
Well, I'm just thinking about beauty, and how much I've learned, just from, I've been spending time in the last month in nature most of the time, and in forests and gardens, and um, there's so much that beauty can teach us, just in terms of expanding our limitations of impatience, or allowing more patience, when beauty stops you in your tracks and surprises you and takes you out of kind of from expectation to just allowing, as you said, what was it, the beautiful quote about the presence of beauty is the beauty of presence.
Right. Yeah.
So powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Suellen.
Thank you. Okay, well, thank you all for coming tonight. I really appreciate your presence, and I'd like to dedicate the evening. Myself personally, I want to dedicate to appreciation of Rinpoche for his wisdom through these books, and of course to our beautiful planet and Mother Nature herself. So I just say, may whatever benefit you may have received bring happiness and understanding to the lives of others and also to yourselves, just nourishing us through this unfolding of beauty inside and out. And we're going to seal this wish. We should all be muted, but let's seal the wish by chanting Om Ah Hum 3 times together. Om. Ah. Hum. Om. Ah. Om. Om. Ah. Om. Thank you again for coming. So now,
Can you hear me?
yes.
I have a logistics question. You know, when I look at the talks on Sunday evening, on some of them it says Zoom, and on others it says in person and Zoom. And on this one tonight it said in person or Zoom, but I wasn't sure how to find out whether there is an in-person meeting, because I don't want to go to the institute and then not have anyone there. Can you give some guidance on that, on how to do that?
It does change depending on the person giving the talk, and we're supposed to call it in, and then on the where you make the reservation, it should say online only, and I believe it said online only for tonight.
Can I
Okay.
say, yeah, it was originally scheduled for hybrid, online and in person. And then I think it's changed to online. So about 2 days or 3, usually on Thursday, we send out e-blast. And then when you get that e-blast, you can check it's online or in person hybrid. So there you can find it out. And we'll make sure website also changed, because sometimes it's not diligently changed, but the sure thing is e-blast on Thursday. That is the most reliable resource.
What is that? I'm sorry. On Thursday, what is that?
E-blast, email blast.
Oh, okay.
I think you must got that, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So please check Thursday e-blast.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Hedian.
Sorry about a little confusion this week.
Good
No
night.
problem.
Good night, you guys.
Thanks so much.
You're so welcome. Bye. So great to